A knight must protect the weak and serve justice. Code of Chivalry, 14th century. Here, everything is filled with history. Here, honor and dignity take on a special meaning. Here, the soul of a knight has been seeking forgiveness for 6 centuries. Hi, this is Skyland, and we've prepared something special for you. This is Hirschhorn, a small town on the Neckar River in the state of Hesse in Germany. Today, around 3,500 people live here. The town is located in the Neckar Valley, among the hills of the Odenwald. At first glance, it is a quiet and peaceful place. But the history of this town began more than 700 years ago, with the construction of a castle on the rock. It was around this castle that the town gradually formed. Today, Hirschhorn is a small town with a well-preserved historic center, developed infrastructure, and a stable social and economic environment. Episode 1. The Castle. The history of Hirschhorn begins with the castle. Hirschhorn Castle was built in the middle of the 13th century and for nearly 400 years served as the residence of the knightly von Hirschhorn family. The castle stands on a high rock above the Neckar River. Its location was chosen strategically. From here, it was possible to control the trade route and repel potential attacks. The castle was not just a fortress with stone walls up to 2.5 meters thick. It was an entire complex. There were residential buildings, stables, a blacksmith's workshop, a bakery, storage rooms, as well as quarters for guards and clergy. In fact, it was a small autonomous town. There is a belief that the castle was connected to the town by a secret underground passage, which allowed the knights to withstand long sieges. Many enthusiasts have tried to find the entrance to this tunnel, but so far none of these attempts have been successful. In the 14th century, the castle was expanded. The von Hirschhorn family became increasingly influential, expanded their lands, and accumulated considerable wealth. In the 16th century, the castle was rebuilt and partially transformed into a residential residence in the Renaissance style. New buildings appeared, and the level of comfort improved. In the 17th century, during the 30 Years' War, the last member of the von Hirschhorn family died. With him, a knightly family that had ruled these lands for nearly 400 years disappeared. After that, the castle lost its importance and gradually fell into decline. In the 19th century, it was partially restored. Since 1959, the castle has been used as a hotel, but its walls still preserve the atmosphere of a medieval fortress. Episode 2. The Town. The town of Hirschhorn was founded in 1250. Its founding date is considered to be the time when the castle was built. The town grew at the foot of the castle. Craftsmen, merchants, and peasants lived here. People from nearby villages moved here for protection and for work. In 1391, the town received city rights, and the population began to grow. Between 1404 and 1406, the town received market rights. A monastery was founded between the castle and the town received its first official seal. In the Middle Ages, the town was fortified with walls. It developed thanks to trade along the Neckar River. In the 15th and 16th centuries, Hirschhorn reached its peak, but then difficult times began. Between 1555 and 1565, the town experienced a plague epidemic, a devastating fire, and several floods. In 1632, during the 30 Years' War, the last member of the von Hirschhorn family died, and the town came under the control of the Archbishopric of Mainz. From that moment, an entire era came to an end. The town lost its importance and fell into decline. The economy weakened, and the population dropped sharply. At one point, only about 200 people remained here. But about 2 centuries later, the situation began to change. In the 19th century, steamships appeared, and a railway was built. This gave a new impulse to development. In the 20th century, a bridge over the Neckar was constructed, and new districts began to appear. Today, Hirschhorn is a small town with developed infrastructure. Tourists visit the town. There are schools, shops, cafes, and hotels. There is also an industrial area with companies oriented toward export. But despite all this, Hirschhorn remains a quiet and peaceful place to live. Episode 3: The Legend. Several legends are connected with Hirschhorn Castle. The most striking and remarkable of them, with a historical basis, is the legend of Hans von Hirschhorn, who lived in the late 14th and early 15th centuries. One day, Hans killed a man in a duel. At that time, knights administered justice, and Hans was convinced that he had punished a criminal. But later, it turned out that the man was innocent. Hans began to be tormented by his conscience. He was a hereditary knight, and justice was his highest value. Many sleepless nights he spent on the castle walls, enduring deep inner turmoil. And to atone for his guilt, in 1406 he founded a monastery at the foot of the castle. The monks were meant to pray for the souls of the fallen and the innocently killed. The monastery has stood here for more than 6 centuries, and its church is the oldest building in the town. But it is said that the soul of the knight never found peace. Sometimes at night, a dark silhouette of Hans von Hirschhorn can be seen on the castle walls. And sometimes, in the silence, footsteps can be heard, as if someone is walking along the stone walls. It is a remarkable story of faith and justice in harsh and difficult times. Several other legends are also connected with the von Hirschhorn family, about a family curse, about ghosts, about old secrets. Here, legends are closely intertwined with real history. And sometimes it is difficult to understand where facts end and legends begin. Sometimes history leaves behind facts, and sometimes legends. Here, history is in every stone, in every house, in every window. Here, the air itself is filled with the past, a small town with a big history. Subscribe to the channel. There are many more towns, stories, and legends ahead.